right, let's talk about something exciting. All right, so I'm going to give a little bit of background because I can't show you this, but I'm going to do a call out today because so I tend to pretty much call it like it is. I can stand tall, walk tall on my own 2 feet. And anyways, a little bit of background into what happened today on Shitbook is there was a post that I made on Parlor, and it was a comment that I made. And let me see if I can find it. It was something to do with, I don't know. Here's an example of my upcoming account ban with Shitbook. Anyhow, so I went through and I made a comment today, something about godless terrorists in relationship to an article that was published about the Twinkie movement that decided to burn Bibles and American flags, and everybody pretty much knows how I feel about these nutless wonders in the Twinkie movement. But anyhow, so I posted this on Facebook and I gave an example, and I took a screenshot and then I pushed it over to Facebook and I said, this is an example in a picture of something that wouldn't fly on Shitbook, right? So anyhow, let me share that screen. All right, share this screen. Oh, there it is. All right, so you guys aren't going to see that much, but here's my upcoming account ban with Shitbook. And anyhow, going back to this, so I want to talk about the nutless wonders and the spineless little Twinkies, okay, and the SJWs. What they do is they run out and they throw stones, and then immediately they run back and hide because they don't have a spine, right? That's why I call them jellyfish, all sting, no spine. So anyways, I posted this comment on Facebook, and then somebody from this Boogaloo movement, right? Boogaloo boys, big igloo. I don't give a shit what you guys call yourselves. I'm calling you out today. All right. So anyhow, this guy decides to take that post and then state something on his page using my image on his page to trash me. Okay, which is fine. Don't show up to a gunfight with what, a BB gun? Because I come with both guns loaded. So I called this dude out, right? I don't know who he is, but apparently he's connected to me on Facebook. But what you tend to notice is all of these little pussies, these SJWs, they hide, okay, because they're too busy eating Hot Pockets in their mom's basement. And so I said, look at this coward, right? Simple statement. Look at this coward. He wants to run up, throw stones, and then turn around and run back and hide. And then so anyways, all of these people just started flooding my Shitbook account with comments, right? It was wonderful. So it's here was my comment right here. I'm not going to hide from it. It says, at least tag me when you plan on stealing my post, coward. How pathetic are you? Okay, so lesson one in the adult world is if you're willing to talk shit and think you're somebody that's big, stand up. Don't be a pussy. Okay? Don't be a pussy. All right? Stand up and take accountability for what you did. That's called being a man. Now, this person, it isn't even their real name, because what I'm noticing in this whole group is, they tend to just hide. Okay? So anyway, so we started going back and forth. There were hundreds of comments. At one point, somebody accused me of being a baby killer because I was in the military. We talked about the Oklahoma City bombing, and they actually said, well, it was only 19 dead children. That was one of the first things I did in the Army, is I cleaned up the Oklahoma City bombing. And it doesn't matter that there was one child involved, because after all, some absolute dumbass named Timothy McVeigh decided to try and overthrow the government and bomb the building because he was an anarchist. Okay? Anarchist. So anyways, we go back and forth. And then, in their defense, the conversation kind of turned because, when I decide to put somebody on blast, I put them on blast. And what you have is like this gang mentality, all right? So going back to this SJW garbage is that if I just get 50 of my friends or 40 or 20 or 15 or 10, we're going to gang up on you. We're going to flood you. We're going to flood you. We're going to criticize. We're going to bully. Okay. Because this is the group that talks about don't bully me. Okay. That's the not millennial, but that Gen Z mindset is, using words and hurtful words. Well, I got news for you pussies. I don't live in that generation. So I started coming back blasting. Okay. I was laughing my ass off as these people were just feeding more and more and more. And at some point, they actually, one of them stated, don't remember who it is because again, they're all hiding behind bullshit. They're doing this shadow bullshit, gang terrorist garbage. Okay. Fucking garbage. That's what it is. Stand up. Stand up. Don't tell me who you are, because talk is cheap. All right. So anyways, they start talking about how I was a baby killer and I just fought to do what? Get them cheap gas, all of this other stuff, right? Sorry about my notifications coming in from Shitbook, but I get a lot of them. Anyhow, so they start, the one gal starts posting, memes, right? I call them meme monkeys, that they're just going to try and be insulting through memes and pictures and GIFs or GIFs or however you want to pronounce it. And that's just another, move to be because you're a jellyfish because you have no spine. Then another gal decides to question my manlyhood, talk negatively about how I look, all of this other stuff. And that's great. That's great. We aren't courting. We aren't dating. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, all these guys are just flooding all these negative comments, and they're just, they're going through my profile. They're trying to find dirt, all of this other stuff. And I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So here's my message to you, you fucking Boogaloo pussies. Stand up. Let's have a discussion about it. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, based on what your movement group just said to me on Shitbook, you guys are terrorists. You guys talked about killing police, how it's okay for a few people to die in their families as long as they're federal, right? As long as they're some part of a government. You're talking about hanging people. You're talking about doing what? You're talking about taking lives. You're talking about uninstalling governments. You're talking about what? You're talking about being a terrorist. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out for the terrorist that you are until you come on my show. And we're going to have this conversation. We're going to talk about the impressionable minds of the hot pockets that are joining your group because they think they want to overthrow the government. Meanwhile, prove you guys aren't just named after a bad 80s movie, wearing cool Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, I said that. Come at me wrong? You come at me wrong, you better come strong. Because I come out with all guns loaded. All guns loaded. What do you stand for? You stand for talk? Talk is cheap. You stand for what? You better get your acts together. You have the House subcommittees trying to define you as terrorists. Well, I got news for you. You know what I saw on Facebook today? They're right. They're right. Based on what I saw on that shitty social media platform, everything that they said about you in that C-SPAN House subcommittee meeting was right. Based on what I read. You want to be more than a cheap suit? Man up, engage, or send me a direct email. Bradley.Bennett, in case you don't know how to spell. Bennett, Bradley.Bennett at BradleyBennettShow.com. Send me an email. Schedule some airtime. Prove you're not a bunch of pussies that are talking about shadow CIA bullshit. I stand tall. Maybe it's time you guys stand up. It might be the first time you ever did. Maybe you put a picture behind that profile. Let everybody see what you stand for, because that's called being an American. Standing up. That's called being a patriot. That's the first step to not being a worthless pussy that just sits back and talks about shit. Pretends you're in some sort of a group that you're going to do what? build a fort, build a clubhouse. Yeah, you piss me off. You piss me off because I don't like pussies that hide behind the fabric of our American flag and pretend you mean something other than what? Being a fucking shit, being in a shitty Hawaiian shirt and what? Stomping on the fabric of our flag, being un-American. Boogaloo bitches. Stand up. Correct me. You guys want to have a conversation? Let's have that conversation. I'm willing to listen. But know that based on what I saw today, based on the behaviors of a whole bunch of Fruit Loops, you guys are proving that Congress is right. And here I am volunteering, not being a part of your group, because I don't believe in joining gangs, to help you guys become a real organization that stands for something positive, not based on what I saw. Prove me wrong. Or don't. It's up to you. I don't know. That's all I got. This dude, let's read through some of these comments. It's all replies. See what they did? Okay? They deleted hundreds of their comments. Hundreds. So the way the SJW does it, and we're going to cut this short in a minute, they post these comments. They start throwing these stones, right? Okay, patriot fucking bootlicker. This one wasn't smart enough to erase their messages. I'm more of a warlord. You're a warlord? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about warlords. A warlord's only in power until somebody else wants to take that power from them, you dipshit. Okay? I stated right here. I serve my country. I'm more American than you are, sitting in your mom's basement, you fucking hot pocket. Right? Playing your first-person shooter games, watching your Rick and Morty fucking cartoons, getting your evening feed from your mom because your dad was smart enough to leave your asses. Yep, I'm calling you out. What are you going to do about it? Here you go. I took it. Because I took an oath to defend the freedoms of others. I paid my dues with the lives of my four fallen brothers. Listen up, you anarchist SJW pieces of shit. Some of us in this country actually did what you're talking about doing. We actually had the gumption. We had the sack to sign a contract and go out there and defend the freedoms and liberties so you can get, what, cheap tickets to go watch a movie? Cheap gas prices? You can blame it on oil and all that other stuff. Good for you. Good for you, you pussies. Go stand up for something. All of these people deleted their comments because they're pussies. This guy actually deleted his comment. He was the original person, right? Here's Mr. Jesse James Boujihadin. Boujihadin. Not a single real picture on this dude's profile, probably, right? Because he's a pussy. He ain't nothing. He's all talk. Quack, quack. You want to defend yourselves and talk about being real Americans, talk about standing up for the Constitution, being patriots? Send me an email. We'll have that conversation. We'll compare notes. We'll talk about what being a real American is. And it ain't about sitting in your mom's basement eating Hot Pockets, you fucking Twinkies. It ain't talking about overthrowing the government, causing harm to people, talking about only 19 dead babies happen in Oklahoma City. One was too many. You worthless piece of shit. One. I'll give you about 48 hours, because after 48 hours, I'm going to start destroying you. Talking about the terrorist Boogaloo movement. Man up. Or woman up. If you're married, go grab your testicles from the bottom of your wife's purse. And let's have a conversation. Because right now, based on what I saw, you guys are everything that Congress is claiming you are. Good luck on that.